She'll get it off. Come in.
Hi.
Hi, Arlene.
Oh, JJ, are you busy? I mean, I'm not interrupting an important experiment or anything, am I?
I know. I'm just trying to get the paint off this turtle shell. Some kid wrote Irving loves Josephine on it.
Aww. Is he going to be all right?
Oh, yes, so far I've managed to remove Josephine and Love, and I got the ing off Irving.
Why don't you just leave Irv? I think it looks kind of cute.
I can't. His name is Ralph. Hey, how's Ted?
Oh, he's just fine. You know, JJ, we have been married 5 months now. We've only had 3 fights.
That's marvelous.
Yeah, all yesterday. And all over you.
Over me?
His cousin Bob is in town. So I mentioned to Ted that I thought it would be nice if we fixed him up with a date. No, just while he's here in town. And Ted said, mind your own business. Well, this was at breakfast. So I spent the rest of the morning making up a list of all the girls I know, single girls, you know, to see who would be the right one to go out with him. I called Ted up at the office. I read him the list, and what does he say? Mind your own business again. So I asked myself, Arlene, of all the single girls you know, who is the most attractive, the prettiest? You. So when Ted came home for dinner, I told him.
And he said, mind your own business.
No, this time he said, stay out of it.
Well, I'm glad you listened to it. You did listen to it. Arlene, why didn't you listen to him?
JJ, you're not married. Honey, you don't know men like I do. They're all selfish. Men don't look out for each other like women do. So I decided that if Ted wasn't going to look out for his cousin, I would look out for his cousin. When I picked Bob up at the airport, I told him all about you.
And?
JJ, you cannot believe how 2 cousins can be so much alike.
He told you to stay out of it, too.
No, he told me to mind my own business.
Arlene, I'm awfully sorry, but the last 3 blind dates I've had have been that tall. And I swore to myself I would never go out with another blind date, no matter who. Come to think of it, you made all those blind dates for me.
Don't dig up the past, JJ. Besides, every one of those 3 blind dates were 6 feet tall.
Yeah, put together.
Look, JJ, he's only going to be in town for a week. You'll have a very good time. He'll take you to a lovely restaurant, and you'll eat, and you'll drink, and you'll dance, and you'll talk about animals. JJ, he's a doctor. Dr. Robert Livingston, a veterinarian.
All right, Arlene, I'll think about it and I'll call you later.
What's there to think about? Look, how old are you? You're my age, right?
Yes.
Are you going with anyone?
No.
Are you interested in anyone?
No.
I'll pick you up at 8 o'clock. You'll have a very good time.
How'd the banquet go?
Fine, Sarah, fine.
Well, the speech was great, but dinner was cold.
Why was the dinner cold?
Well, anytime you attend a United Religious League affair, dinner is always cold.
How come?
By the time a priest, a rabbi, and a minister get through blessing the food, what do you expect?
Where's JJ?
She's upstairs dressing. She has a dinner date.
Oh, that's nice. Did she say who she was going out with?
No, she didn't. And don't think I didn't ask her. All she said was it was a last-minute thing, a favor to Arlene and a cousin of Ted's.
Sounds like a blind date to me.
That's what it sounds like to me.
No, I doubt it. You know how JJ feels about blind dates, and after that last one, I can't say I blame her.
Boy, he was a tough-looking character. Did you get to see him, George?
Wasn't I in the driveway when he came roaring up on his motorcycle?
That's right. I forgot. forgot. That was the night you dove through the basement window.
I'll never forget the expression on JJ's face when she walked in here and got a look at her blind date.
Even with the motorcycle boots and the German helmet, JJ was a good head taller.
You know, I've never mentioned this before, Governor. I was always surprised you let her go out with him that night.
Well, he was Judge Pfeiffer's son, and she didn't want to hurt Judge Pfeiffer's feelings. No, I think it's like she said. It was a last-minute thing with Ted's cousin, a favor to Arlene.
It still sounds like a blind date to me.
Me too.
Me too.
Oh, hi, Dad. When did you get home?
A few minutes ago. Hey, you are really something in that dress.
You really are, isn't she?
Yeah. Sarah tells me you have a date for dinner tonight.
Yes, that's right.
Somebody new?
Well, actually, you've never met him.
Oh, when did you meet him?
Oh, Arlene. You remember Arlene? She married Ted about 5 months ago.
Yes, I remember Arlene.
Well, she came by this afternoon, and, well, this is Ted's cousin, Bob, that I'm going out with tonight, and, well, he's a blind date. He's a blind date.
JJ, you're a beautiful young lady. You don't have to resort to blind dates.
Well, I know, Dad, but when she put it on a favor basis, what else could I do? I mean, it was either no and spend the rest of the day being pressured by her, or yes and getting some work done.
Well, I sure hope you're luckier than you were the last time.
Oh, well, Dad, this one's a veterinarian, and he's supposed to be very nice. I'm sure he couldn't be anything like last time.
Well, I hope not. George, we better get to work on that report.
Right.
We'll do it in your office.
Right.
And you, have a nice time.
Thank you. I won't be home any later than 11:30.
Oh, I doubt if I'll be up. I've got a very big day tomorrow.
So do I. I've got a very important experiment to do.
Well, good luck.
Good night, JJ.
Good night.
Rum, rum.
Oh.
Did you say he's picking you up at 8, JJ?
Yes.
Well, you ought to be here in a few minutes. Or sooner.
Sarah, when you answer the door, if he's shorter than I am, tell him he's got the wrong house.
He's beautiful.
Good evening.
Dr. Livingston, I presume.
I won't be home any later than 11:30. I have a big experiment tomorrow morning at the zoo. If you hadn't said that, I wouldn't worry at all. I've been in bed hours ago, sound asleep. Now, where do you think she could be?
Would you like me to make another cup of coffee?
No, thanks. Another cup of coffee, I wouldn't sleep at all.
Well, it's 4:20 now. You're not going to get much sleep tonight anyway.
I meant tomorrow night.
Governor, she's probably having such a lovely evening she doesn't even realize what time it is. There's nothing to worry about.
Then why don't you go to bed?
I can't. I'm worried.
You know, if I knew what kind of a car he had, I'd call police and check, see if there'd been an accident. You sure you don't know what kind of a car he was driving?
I'm positive.
What, you said you were looking out the window when they drove away?
Well, I was, but when I saw it wasn't a motorcycle, I relaxed.
Do you have Arlene's number?
The only number we have is in the apartment that she lived in before she was married.
You don't have a number for where she's living now?
For all we know, she may not even have a phone. I understand Ted isn't doing too well.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
I should have known the minute I looked at that Bob there was something wrong with him. A good-looking fella like that going out on a blind date?
Well, JJ's a pretty girl, and she's out on a blind date. There's nothing wrong with her. Sarah, why don't you go to bed?
Because I'm too worried. Why did we let her go out with a strange man, especially a veterinarian? How do we know how he acts around girls? They work around animals all day long.
Well, so does JJ.
Well, let his family worry about him.
Sarah, we're being ridiculous. JJ's over 21. If she wants to change her mind and come home later than she planned, that's certainly her business. Now, I suggest that you go to bed, get some sleep, and I suggest I do the same thing. Here, let me open the door for you.
Thank you.
Is that you, JJ?
Oh, well, what are you two doing up? Don't tell me you were waiting up for me.
Of course not. We always get up at 4:30 in the morning to do the dishes.
Dad, I'm not a child.
I know that, J.J., but you said you'd be home no later than 11:30.
Well, I was having such a marvelous time, I just lost all track of time.
I'm glad you had such a nice time, J.J. I'll see you at breakfast.
I'll tell you all about him, sir. See you at 7.
I can't wait. Can you make it 6:30?
So one of Arlene's blind dates finally turned out all right, huh?
Oh, wow. He's so nice, and he's so sweet. Oh, he's really something. But I'm sorry it worried you.
Oh, that's all right. I wanted to call Arlene, but we only had the number of her old apartment.
Well, she's still living there.
Oh, she is?
Yeah, they can't afford a new one. Ted isn't doing too well.
I heard that. What does he do that he isn't doing too well?
I don't know. But Arlene says he's getting better at it.
Well, I'm glad to hear that.
Dad, I can't wait for you to meet Bob.
Well, I'm very anxious to meet Bob.
I think you'll like him. He's with an animal hospital in St. Louis, but he wants to open his own practice here.
You think he will?
Oh, I think he will now.
Well, then two of us should be happy.
Why?
Well, our state could use some new business, you know.
Well, I'm sorry I kept you up so late.
Oh, that's all right. I learned something else about being a father tonight.
What's that?
It never stops. Good night. See you tomorrow.
Thanks, Dad.
J.J., I can't wait till 6:30. It's only about an hour. Would you like your breakfast now, J.J.?
No, I think I'll wait till later, sir.
How about some hot coffee?
No, thank you.
Where are you going, J.J.?
I have some time before I have to go to work. I thought I'd just take a walk in the garden.
That poor girl hasn't eaten properly in a week.
J.J.'s been hurt, Sarah. It's understandable.
I can't understand how a fella can spend practically every minute of the weekend with her, promise to call her the next morning, then poof, he's gone. Not a word, nothing.
Maybe something came up and he had to leave suddenly.
But it's been over a week now. He could have picked up a telephone and called her or written her a letter. I hope one of his patients bites him.
Morning.
Oh, hello, George.
Where's everyone?
Well, the governor's out jogging. J.J.'s taking a walk in the garden, and he still hasn't called yet.
I don't get it. Why didn't J.J. spot him for the Healy Woods right away? She's usually a good judge of character.
Because she wasn't thinking, she was looking. Besides, she never had such a tall blind date before.
Was he really that good looking?
That stinker was gorgeous. A young Walter Pigeon, if I ever saw one.
I'd like to come face to face with him. I'd really tear into him.
George, he's 6'2".
I didn't say alone.
Oh, shh. Here's J.J.
Sarah, I think I'll have that breakfast now.
Good.
Oh, George, I'm glad you're here. There's something I wanted to say to all of you. I want to apologize for the way I've been acting this past week.
Oh,
Don't be
you didn't
silly,
do
honey.
anything.
It's all right.
Come on. That's very kind of you, and I appreciate it, but I'm well aware of the way I've been acting, and I admit I was hurt when Bob suddenly left town without calling, but I've come to the conclusion it was my own fault. I obviously read something into the situation that wasn't there. At least not there mutually.
Governor's residence, Miss McLeod speaking.
Whatever Bob's reason for leaving is of no importance anymore.
Hold on, operator. J.J., it's for you.
It's over and done with, and I hold no animosity. Thank you.
Long distance.
Hello? Bob? Is that really you, Bob? Well, you certainly have a lot of nerve calling me now. What did I just do?
J.J., why did you hang up on him?
Why didn't you give him a chance to explain?
He'll call back.
George, if a girl did that to you, if a girl hung up like that on you, would you call back?
No. Maybe.
Hello? Who? Oh, Bob, we must have been cut off.
Now we'll find out why he left town without calling.
Oh, Bob, explanations aren't necessary. But tonight. But how... Oh, you're flying in this evening. Well, no, Bob, I'm sorry, but I can't. No. I don't have a date. It's just that, well, I have some things that I have to get done, and tonight seemed like a good night to do them. And besides, I have to get up early in the morning.
She wants to go out with him. Why doesn't
She should go out with him just to find out why he left town without calling.
At this point, I don't think she cares.
I do.
Well, if it's that important to you and you promise to get me home early, okay. I'll see you at 7. Bob, have a nice flight. Whoever this Irving is, I sure wish he'd stop using you for a billboard. Come in. Hi, Irving.
JJ, have you got a minute?
Come on in.
I was going to call you on the phone and talk to you, but I thought maybe it'd be better if I came here in person. Irving loves Sue. That Irving is too much. Whoa, I thought he loved Josephine.
Oh, Irving swings. What was it you were going to tell me on the phone? You decided to tell me in person.
That Ted was right, and I should have minded my own business.
Now, why do you say that, Arlene? You introduced me to a very charming young man, and I had a great weekend.
Yeah, but he's not dependable. JJ, I know what you went through when he packed up and went home suddenly without even having the courtesy to call.
Oh, Arlene, really?
No, I know what it's like to feel that rejection. I mean, a fella takes you out and makes a big fuss over you. Then he never calls again. Listen, it's happened to me.
It has?
Oh, 200 or 300 times.
Really?
I just wanted to apologize to you for Ted having such a fink of a cousin.
Well, Arlene, any day last week I would have agreed with you, but not today.
Why not today?
Bob called this morning, and he's flying in this evening, and he wants to take me to dinner.
You're kidding. Well, you're not going out with him, are you?
Well, why shouldn't I?
Well, JJ, I didn't finish. I mean, that's what I came to tell you. Ted and I didn't know. We just found out this morning.
Found out what?
Bob's engaged to be married.
When did this happen?
About a month ago. To a girl in St. Louis. JJ, listen to me. If I had known this before, I would have never...
I know that, Arlene.
Well, look, I've got some shopping to do. JJ? Will you call me?
Operator, this is Governor Winthrop Rockefeller of Arkansas, and I'd like to call the state capitol in Little Rock. Yes, you could charge it to this phone. You don't mind go with your phone, because your budget has been approved and mine hasn't.
Of course not. JJ's going to be crazy about this little razorback pig. I don't know how to thank you.
Hello, are you there, Bob? Yes, I'm with Governor Drinkwater at the moment, and I'm leaving his home now, and I'll be back in Little Rock in about 4 hours. Okay? Thanks a lot. Goodbye.
Okay, Governor, I know you have to run. Remember one thing. I'm going to pay you a visit. Now, listen, can't thank you, really, enough for that little razorback. But tell me something. Oh, what do you feed him?
He's crazy about cat food, but don't go by me because I raise beef.
Thanks very much, Governor. Regards to the family. Sarah.
Hello, Governor.
Yep, we got a new little member in our family.
Isn't he cute?
Yeah, why don't you take him out in the kitchen and get him something to eat?
Right away. What'll I feed him?
I don't know, anything but bacon, I guess. Oh.
Oh, hi, Dad.
Hi, JJ. Well, why aren't you dressed? Isn't Bob picking you up at 7?
Oh, he'll be coming at 7, but I won't be going out with him.
You won't?
I believe the expression is, he's been spoken for.
You mean he's married?
Worse.
Worse?
He's engaged.
Oh.
Arlene came by this afternoon, and she and Ted just found out about it themselves.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So am I. I really don't know what I'm going to say to him. I was so completely fooled. I really thought that he felt something for me.
Well, I wish I could think of something to say that would help.
Well, there are some hurts that can be shared, but this isn't one of them. Thanks, Ted.
Well, I'll slip out this way. Hey, would you like to have dinner with me?
Oh, well, you've already had dinner.
Yeah, but I'd enjoy watching you eat.
Oh, no, thanks, Ted. No, I don't have much of an appetite.
Hi.
Hi.
Now, I know I've got a lot of making up to do. This is for starters.
Thank you.
Hey, how come you're not dressed? Don't you feel well?
Oh, I feel fine. Bob, could you come here a minute?
Sure.
That's goodbye.
Look, JJ, I know you're hurt, and you've got a perfect right to be, but I was totally wrong leaving town and not calling you like I said I would, but believe me, I can explain.
Well, maybe you can explain that, but can you explain why you didn't tell me you were engaged?
Arlene. I don't know. This whole thing is her fault. I didn't want to go out on a blind date in the first place, but have you ever tried to say no to Arlene?
I went out with you, didn't I?
Look, JJ, the only reason that Ted and Arlene didn't know I was engaged is because once Arlene knows something, the whole darn world knows it. Anyway, I took you out as a favor to Arlene, and never dreaming anything would come of it.
Well, you were so right.
No, I was so wrong. A very wonderful weekend came of it.
Oh, well, it was so wonderful you couldn't wait to leave.
So wonderful, I suddenly became a guy with a girl in one city and only thinking of a new girl in another city. And I gotta admit, it scared me. It scared me so bad that I grabbed the first plane I could and hightailed it out of here.
Well, that's very nice of you, Bob, but I think you did the right thing.
Yeah, well, I did more. I told Janet.
What?
I told Janet about you.
Why did you do that?
Just to save my sanity. JJ, I've been going crazy this past week. Being with her and just thinking of you. Anyway, we've had a nice, honest relationship, and it was only right that I tell her.
Well, what was her reaction?
Well, you, never really get to know someone until you break an engagement. You know how in the movies, when they break up, the girl takes the ring off and throws it at the guy?
Yes.
She kept mine.
Well, I'm sorry, but she must have been very hurt.
No, Janet's very practical. As she said, it could have been worse.
How?
Suppose I'd met you after Janet and I were married.
Oh, well, I don't date married men.
Oh, you would have if I'd put Arlene on you.
Well, where does that leave us?
That leaves us late for dinner unless you hurry up and change.
I won't be a minute.
And my regards to your wife, family. Very truly yours, Bill Drinkwater, and you know the rest. Anything else, Maggie?
Oh, yeah, Susan Harriman.
Who is Susan Harriman?
Well, she's the little girl who brought you that fish.
What fish?
The piranha. You were out of town at the time. I told you about it when you returned, but I guess you weren't listening.
Oh, what'd you do with it?
Well, I didn't know what a piranha was, so I put it out in the fountain in front of the Capitol building with all the other fish.
Well, I'll take a look when I go to lunch. Which one is it?
The one that's left.
Governor, excuse me. We have guests.
Hi.
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 Everybody, I'd like you to greet the state's newest resident.
Oh,
Thank you.
you found a building for your animal hospital. How nice, Doctor.
Thank you.
Where's it located?
Beaumont Boulevard, 400 block.
Oh, that's a great area. You should do well there.
Well, let me wish you the best of luck. Now, all you have to do is let the people know that you're here.
As a matter of fact, we're on our way to do that right now.
Or you're going to take some ads in the newspapers.
Oh, better than that.
Hmm?
We're going to tell Arlene.